Start streaming. Welcome back to the pack, guys. We got week 26. We just got done with week 25 Frizz week, and we're moving on to week 26, which is also Frizz week. More on that later. But yeah, how'd you guys do this week?
Uh, not great. Started out with uh one of those really rough groupings going up against just a whole bunch of 22, 23K teams. Picked the best matchup I could. Ended up getting like a 112, I think, two deaths and 3 turns.
What would you attribute that to?
I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember. I had so many deaths this week that I don't remember exactly what happened. That first one. But in general, it really boiled down to Great Dragon was usually my attacker down the middle, and very often, very often, about I think about a third of the time, maybe a quarter of the time, he was not tanky enough to deserve that position in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I had 5 Great Dragon deaths this week.
How many other units did you have that were Woosh week?
One. So I had Boreal die once to a Psy Cannon, and that probably wasn't avoidable with that match. Zomo was going to something just happened to Boreal. And then there was a that used the fist and crit my Dragon Lord true form for 11 damage. Just delete him.
What about you?
YouTube is buffering.
Is YouTube buffering or am I buffering or you buffering? Who's buffering?
I don't know. It's working now. Someone's buffering. Might have been me.
Might have been you. I guess we're doing good now. Come join the chat.
Right.
I'm trying to entice people to come in.
Okay.
I
was like, who's this weirdo in the chat just trying to get people in the chat? I'm not sure what that was about, but okay.
We gotta drive up engagement. Oh, 1 second.
Well, we didn't advertise the earlier time, I believe. That's part of it. So I'm trying to throw the adverts out as we're.
Link it in chat too.
Yeah.
Arena podcast now.
Happening now.
Self-promote.
Yep. Let's try.
You've already. Yep. Yeah, I let people know on the main channel
that it's in the self-promote. Yeah, I threw it up there.
Yep. Awesome.
Podcast. I'm throwing it on Reddit as well. Seems more people are engaged there lately, the new people. So I guess it's one way to do it.
Yep. Yeah, it helps. There's definitely some people there who haven't yet made it onto Kage's Discord.
Yeah. Exist on files here. Had a bunch of deaths this week too. Choke points in the middle sucked. Yes. Apparently they did. I realized at the very end of the week, what I needed with my team was to bring in Stark, which is someone who I'd always wanted to get rid of. You know, for me, he's always been a breath unit and a leadership and never anything else. I never could get in a physical with him, but this week I kind of positioned him in a way that he would get a physical because it might as well. And that was like the very last match. And I just had kind of that realization that I would need to bring Stark because last 2 matches. But it's like, I don't know. Great Dragon just wasn't cutting it this week. It was really bad. I didn't, in my head, I was like, nobody's going to bring a Woosh unit. Nobody. Right? They're all weak to Frizz. And the mad bastards did it. It didn't help them none. It didn't help them at all. But it made my life a living hell.
Yep.
So it's like,
Yeah, it was rough.
it was definitely interesting. And Great Dragon, for me, I believe if you had 5 awakenings, which is has to be the secret number of awakenings, right? Right? Between the 3 of us, we could say 5
I had to
awakenings.
You
I have a
had a
hunch.
choice. Yeah.
I have a hunch that if you have 5 awakenings, you end up in first place, and if you have 3 awakenings, you end up quite a bit below that, and if you have just 1, you're probably even farther behind. I don't know where I got that statistic from, but I'm guessing it's pretty accurate. Because I think Great Dragon, actually his ice hits pretty hard even when people are lightly resisted to it, right? Because that's what happened the whole week. And he has leadership, so it's still boosting Halberd. As long as he's tanky enough to survive, which I'm sure Trops was, he's an all right unit. I didn't mind that his damage was less. It didn't affect me at all the whole week that he had less damage. Not one bit. The thing that was hurting me is that he didn't have as much HP as Stark does, because he heals. So that was my weakness.
Yep.
But he's 50 weight, so it's tempting.
I think out of all of my deaths with Great Dragon, I think only one did I get killed by more than 100 hits. Like all of my deaths were just it was just enough, including one death to a Hades Condor auto attack. 15 damage was enough to him off. So definitely, if I had thought about it, and again, you start off down 8 units in 2 days. I really wasn't trying to maximize my
Yeah, we're losing you quite a bit here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not getting much. What about you, Tropper? Could you hear him at all, or is he lagging for you?
Yeah, he's really lagging. He was cutting out pretty bad there.
But you sound perfect, so I guess it's
Thanks,
not on
man.
our end. Hey, don't take it that way, man. Don't get an ego, man. All right? I'm not trying to bump you up a peg here, all right? I'd rather knock you down. But yeah. So we lost Celery. Man down, but gosh, I really wish I had Stark this whole week. 65 weight. And I would have had to bring in Slon rather than Hybrid, but it would have worked out just fine, I guess. Slon's a strong unit. It's nice that he could hit 110 now, especially considering that we have to build agility on him instead of damage, which already sucks for Slon. So it's nice getting 110. He has pretty high base attack as it is, so it boosts him quite a bit. But yeah, so that would wrap up this week. Pretty much yeah, I thought Great Dragon would be nice. Having that second awakening for Frizz resistance heavily, Frizz resistance would have worked out a lot better for me. Also having him max awaken so he had more defense and HP would have been much, much better for me. So that was my pitfall this whole week. Every other unit I had was phenomenal. Kiefer was nice. There were times he died, but like he was pretty all right this week. Even Slon, when I brought him in towards the end with the Stark, was nice. Hybrid put in some work. Sadly, it wasn't enough. It's weird because other weeks that he doesn't have a boost, he's been really helpful before in some niche cases, but this time around he didn't do too much, I want to say. Um, but he still put in some nice damage. It's weaker than a Psy Cannon, but at least he has more HP when I build him. When I build him my way, right? He has more HP than Zoma, and he obviously has better movement than Zoma. So it was interesting using him. It was pretty fun. I'm gonna miss it, but on to this week. I don't know. Trop's muted. Celery's down. So, but we do got.
I'm.
You're just on
I just
standby.
had to do something quick.
He was just
What were you
picking. He
asking?
was just picking his nose while he was away. But anyway, he just had the camera down so he could pick his nose. No. But what are your predictions for this week? What are you gonna dub this week? Because you thought Frizz week would have been my week, and it wasn't. But what are you gonna call Woosh week? What is the official dub we're giving it?
Uh, Pack Demon Week
Oh, again, two, two, two.
Part Two.
You want to be 0 for 2? You really want to bet on me a second time? I'm not bringing
Wait,
Great Dragon. Definitely not
do you
this
have
week.
Rough?
No. Unfortunately, no. But I do have counters. I could bring Slon or Sorrow to counter him. But that's pretty much it.
So is he weak to light then, or bang, whatever?
Rough is weak to bang and crack. I wouldn't bring crack because crack units are weak to whoosh. But I would definitely bring
Yeah.
Sorrow, maybe, occasionally. In niche cases, he's 65 weight, so it's hard to fit him. But I would bring him. I would bring Slon. Slon is solid. He wouldn't. I don't know how much HP Rough has, but I don't think Slon would take him out for sure. But he would get him close enough that someone else would move in for the finish. Maybe a breath. And I would bring Halberd. So hopefully Rough isn't resistant to Sizz. Do you guys know if he's resistant to Sizz?
I haven't fought him enough to know. Um, I can't even remember if I fought him at all.
Yeah,
The
I'll
the new Rough unit.
I'll check on my phone. But most of the other units, let's talk about other units other than Rough, because I think you don't have to bring Rough to be good this week. For me, I'm gonna dub this week Frizz week. Last week would have been Crack week. Last week would have been Great Dragons week had they not nerfed. Um, I mean, he was still usable for you, right? But had they not nerfed the ice crack, type, it would have been his whole. It would have been his week basically because most Frizz units are weak to crack, and this time around, I checked ahead on the JP. We calculated the damages based off of an Inferno from Great Dragon, and we do know that Frizz won't be reduced, even though Frizz is the most common type for Woosh units to be weak to. It's not being reduced this week. Neither is Sizz. We haven't gotten the notice yet for the new arena rules, I believe. Maybe they'll hit us 2 o'clock or later. I don't know. So maybe part way through this podcast we'll get it. But I know that at least with Frizz and Sizz, there won't be any sort of damage reduction. So this week, I'm going to dub Frizz week because I have OKM and he's going to OKO people. OKHO? How do you say that? One hit KO?
What do these even stand for? Oh,
One hit
like over
K.
KO?
One hit KO other units, basically, because he's a Frizz and they're going to be weak to Frizz. If they're bringing Woosh, like, I don't know, White King? Don't bring White King. Why are people still bringing White King? He's so squishy. He'd die in one hit. He's just such a liability. You'd have to build HP on him, but then he has no damage. I'd just rather bring Zoma. Like, his Psy Cannon's going to hit hard. His Glacial's going to hit. Well, not this week, but, like, I'm not going to bring Zoma this week. But I just meant in general. Uh, let's see. Let's read the chat here. My prediction is Trop wins this week. Good prediction, Star. You'd be right 10% of the time. I believe that's maybe Trop is our top player since Nibs quit. So that's and considering that he has fully awakened units now, I think he would have gave Nibs a run for his money. But Nibs was our most consistently high-ranked arena player when the bots were winning every week. So
Yeah, it's like he was like constant top tens,
yeah,
but
whereas
yeah.
like we'd bounce back and forth. You might drop below 50, you might be, 40s, but usually in the top 20s. And he was always in the top 20s, maybe in the top 10s. So that's how that went. What's up, Levi?
Yeah.
And
Well, actually, in the first 10 weeks, I never dropped below top 50 because me and Nib were like the only two people to get the gold trophy in 10 weeks or whatever.
mhm.
That was some pretty intense stuff.
Yeah, that was some competition right there. You were doing the whole arena thing before I was into it. I mean, like arena only, You were really going into it hard.
Yeah, I
Vosh
think
TS is
it's
back. What's
since like
up?
the
Yeah,
beginning,
Levi.
even when I didn't have much.
Yeah, did you do good this week, Vosh? Did Vosh do good? He placed high,
That's a
right?
good question.
We had a lot of people place high, certainly higher than me. Nocturne, everybody pretty much placed pretty high this week. That was pretty nice seeing that. It seemed only me and Celery suffered really this time around, and there's a commonality between the two of us. Did you have any other? Celery? Did you have any other units that were weak to Woosh, or was it just Great Dragon that was dying all the time? I don't know if we can hear you because we haven't been hearing you since your camera came back here. But I don't know if you're muted or your hands on your phone mic or yeah. No, we just can't hear him. That's unfortunate. Um, maybe he could type stuff instead. Uh, all right, let's see. I made early
Oh,
mistakes, but I think I ended in the 30s. Nice, nice. At least you got the gold trophy. That's what matters, right? Are there any units I can bring this week that are as rare as a unicorn, but as cute as a bunny? Yes, we have to discuss our top pick for this week is Bunnycorn. Do not underestimate this Bunnycorn. It does have Woosh, which is very hard to come by, I hear. So and it has a nice weight. Oh, we can hear Celery, and it has a nice weight category. It's unbeatable, I believe, for this week. Bunnycorn is our top pick. Is that a consensus between the three of us?
I'd say so by far. Yeah, it has
It's
like a minor
far and above the
frizz
best.
marshal, right? You can't
Ex-
beat that.
exactly. I mean, it's far and above the best unit out of the whole game for this week. So definitely, we're all throwing our hats behind Bunnycorn. Anyone that doesn't have Bunnycorn in their in on their team won't be in the top 10 for sure. For sure, you'll see it in the every top 10 team will have it basically this week. Anyway, but Nara is Woosh Mage to bring this week. She is resistant to Woosh and Frizz. Yes. So Nara and both Nara and Ruff have atypical weaknesses for Woosh units. Woosh units tend to be weak to Frizz and then Sizz, and occasionally it's Frizz and Zap. So they both break all the rules, and they're weak to completely different things, right? Nara's weak to crack and like Zam, and Ruff is kind of like crack and bang. So it's like one's weak to light and one's weak to dark, but they're both weak to crack. So it's interesting. Um, there's a little bit of hope with crack, and there's a little bit of darkness with crack. So not all crack addicts, see the light of day, and not all of those go down that dark tunnel. So it's an inspiring message, I believe. It's very poetic.
Exactly.
I don't know what
So
I was going off of there, but yeah. I always thought it was funny. The crack type is crack type, and crack is banned as a as a sensor,
as a word.
as a word in
Yeah,
the thing. I mean, they can use it, but you can't as a name for a character because they don't want crack in this game. But opioids are fine. You know, opioids are a-okay, despite being just as addictive, if not more. You know.
So Bash is asking how Trop planned his bloom trees to get Metal Dragon and Great Dragon up to arena snuff.
I'm gonna let you guys
That's actually
cover
a good
this. I'm gonna
question.
go last on the blooms here.
Oh wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
Oh, okay. For some reason, it didn't seem like my thing was talking. I'm like that's a pretty good question. I could answer that really quick for him because yeah, uh, I guess part of it. Some people may know this, some people may not know this, but they did a very interesting thing when they released the bloom. In that for a few hours, you know, because when you wake up in the morning, it's an update. So for a few hours in between work and all that stuff, you have a tiny bit of time to climb the tower before it resets. And if you do that, it gives you a lot more materials than it otherwise would. So essentially, what I did is I chose Great Dragon first. So on the very first week, I only had Great Dragon, and I pretty much had maybe all of his abilities or all but one. And then towards the second week, I just unlocked the missiles on Metal Dragon. So he had to move all that stuff, and then I don't know how much longer that took me, but finally last week I was able to unlock the move. Um, so yeah, all that Metal Dragon actually has right now, at least mine, is move +1 and missiles. So and I guess he has half of the agility because something was strange. I was able to I had an option to like manually unlock for just 2 flowers. I was able to unlock like half of that big agility node. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So yeah, now I have a little bit of agility, but not all of it. And I have the move and I have the missiles. And otherwise, Great Dragon is completely done. But I am completely out of materials, which means that Dragonlord True Form is going to have to wait until next month, unfortunately. Because I'm at like 0 branches, 0 flowers now. So that was uh that was kind of how I Oh, and then one last thing, yeah, Levi, I got to floor 20. A lot of people in this community have made it past floor 20, and I'm proud of them, but I can't get past that one just yet. So, uh, yeah, it's a struggle for now.
Mm.
Good question, though. Good question.
And then also one thing I didn't hear you mention is that the paid gems shop does offer two or four flowers per month for 980 paid gems for 2 flowers. So basically $5 per flower.
Yeah, that
Which
that is a good point. So for the first month, which was the first day or whatever, I got those. And then second month I got those, but I'll probably stop getting those because it it seems almost like a mistake because then you also have to buy the branches from the free gems, and it just seems like you're like you're spending a lot of gems.
Yep.
And apart from that, I also forgot to mention that I had a shitload of gold Mendini tokens saved up going into this, so I was able to buy 8 from there as well. So that actually kind of explains how I got a lot of those flowers to do everything.
Yep. Yeah, I did the exact same thing except for the paid gems, obviously. So
Yeah.
and like you said, if you're buying the paid gems one, you really have to also buy the free gems branches to keep up with it. So for me, I haven't had to buy any of the free gems branches because I didn't have those extra 4 flowers or extra 8 flowers really to try and get the extra blooming done with.
Yeah, like at least it's good that the branches are free gems, but it
Yep.
really competes with your pulls. So that's why I'm like I decided I'm good for now. I'm probably not going to buy any more flowers and branches, but admittedly it was a good head start to buy
Yeah.
initially.
It's if you were going to do it, getting it done right at release was the time to do it. Get that head start over the free to play or people who just didn't want to use their paid gems on that.
Yeah, and that's obviously one of my main goals as a low budget player. I try to squeeze the most value I can out of like fairly average size purchases. So I feel like it worked out. And now that I don't really need that stuff anymore, might I was saying this on the Discord too. I might actually go down to like Pack Demon's range of just getting the passport because I'm at the point where I really don't need anything anymore. Um, but yeah, that's
Yep.
that might be interesting.
Yeah.
Blooms for me went a lot differently. I did bloom some of the same units. I went for Great Dragon. I didn't have as many gold Mandini medals saved up. I think it was like 60 or 70. Probably not 70, probably 60. And I didn't get too far with it, right? And I didn't realize that the reset was happening so quick. I forgot that, oh, we're at the top of the month. I probably should get past floor, 12 or something. And I didn't. So, or was it 15 or something I got to, right? And now I'm sitting at floor 20. So I haven't attempted it, but I think I could clear it. I think I have some of the units for clearing it, but definitely tome investment's annoying. Obviously, you're going to have to invest in some frizz. And I don't have that quite right now, but I do have other units that can handle it. My Great Dragon is only one awakened, and I hate to say, but I thought he would be more usable as a one awakened unit because I saw how strong some other one awakened units are. Astark can be strong with just one awakening. Sorrow can be strong with just one awakening. And I was hoping Great Dragon would be similar. And in some respects he is. On some weeks he is. This week he wasn't. But I was hoping he'd pull through, but he didn't. And I'm thinking I kind of disagree with my previous position, which was that, a unit like Prism Peacock is absolute shit. Because, well, maybe if you do have Max Awakened, mine's is Max Awakened. He's sitting at like level 80 or 90. I can't remember, but he's Max Awakened, and it's like there's an argument to be made that would have been better to bloom. I could have used it on Orgo de Mir boss fight because he's going to hit 4 tiles at least with his thing, and you get mana back on turn 5 or something. And I could have used it for 20. 20 would have been a good bloom stage to use Peacock. He's resistant against some of those types, and he deals frizz damage. So it's martial. It's not spell, which is what's being boosted on that stage, but it's still decent. And you could still use Frizzle if you need to, and some other stuff if he was out of range. But I could have totally used him this week in Arena. Sure, maybe the first hit would have been a Frizzle, and then the next hit would have been like a whole bunch of units, maybe, and I would have hit AoE pretty hard. So, I don't know. In a sense, with his high damage, because I don't consider Estark's breath damage. I don't even count it. I almost don't even count it, right? But Estark's physical counts as damage for me. Like, that's when it's significant enough. And with Peacock, his martial would technically be significant enough for me to count it as damage. So in that kind of sense, Peacock has more range than Estark because he would hit at least 1 tile in front of him, right? With his massive blip of damage. Whereas Estark can only do that in melee range, basically physical one range, single tile range, and it's like I don't know. I should have gone with Peacock, and then moved on to Great Dragon next, or Metal Dragon, or maybe even Dragon Lord, because my Dragon Lord, he's one awakened, but he's a strong unit. He would have been good for floor 20. He would have been good for Orgo de Mir. A lot of stuff. So just stuff to think about. If you haven't spent your bloom points yet, and you've saved everything for whatever reason, go with your Max Awakened unit. It's not a bad bet, I think. Let me see the chat here. How about metal cards? I haven't used those. I know Trop used to. The problem is that it takes away from valuable blooming mats from other more powerful monsters. So I feel resources spent there is actively making you a great deal weaker. Whereas if you give those resources to Dragon Lord, you will be rewarded more handsomely and still kills level 20. He calls me the chat. Well, currently you are the chat. All right, Levi. I'm sorry, Vash.
He is the whole chat.
You are the chat. It's come full circle. So, but yeah, I here's the thing. You can take that Eco +1, and Dragon Lord is the best he's ever been, right? And this is unfortunately where he peaks. This is where Dragon Lord peaks. He will never be better than he is now. There's never better time to bloom him than now. But it's not the best long-term investment. But if you're ever going to invest, now is the time. So it's kind of confusing. But we're almost going to be getting Dragon Lord True Form, which I assumed would happen because we're on an accelerated timeline as far as blooms go. So I kind of expected it to come out this quick. But yeah, we're getting Dragon Lord True Form pretty quick here. It's right towards the end of the month, latter half of the month, and it's a lot better than Dragon Lord is in most areas. Obviously, single target Kafriz, maybe his Dragon Lord still outclasses Dragon Lord True Form, even with his breath. I don't know. No?
No.
It doesn't? Are you sure?
Dragon Lord True Form
Because
hits for like 1,300 in arena.
Yeah, but Dragon Lord gets what was it? He gets wisdom up. So I don't know. Maybe that would be enough. Are you counting brilliance or are you not counting brilliance right now? Because I mean it would be the same for both. But 1,300, yeah, I'm pretty sure Dragon Lord could hit 1,300 brilliance. It's not that hard with the spell. But yeah, it's really, I would say Dragon Lord's better overall because he still has fire. He has nice AOE, nice range. Dragon Lord has linear range now, like S-Stark, but he still doesn't have lateral, and that's the important range. I'm sorry, he has lateral, he doesn't have linear. Whatever. I don't know which axis we're gonna label which in this game, but whatever. You know what I mean. And I think this range is more important, and just having a little bit of width to it is fine. But having this range is important more than this range on arena mode by far. So I just think Dragon Lord True Form is a better unit. It just is tankier. Even with the heal that Dragon Lord gets, Dragon Lord True Form is just a better unit. Bloomed. So it's tough. I mean, if you spent your blooms on Dragon Lord and you had a Dragon Lord True Form, you're probably going to be regretting it now because you don't have the mats. The only thing I'm confused about is where to spend these talent points. Who do I put in as my talent point team? When do I pull my talent point? When do I pull my Great Dragon off of talent point team? Because I'm partway through getting him to maxed resistances for Zap and Woosh, which he really needs some Woosh resistance. But I'm partway through it, and as well as the poison resist. I don't know when that's going to come in handy, but if it ever does for PvE, it's there. Do I just pull him out and start farming talent points on someone else instead, or what do you guys recommend? Because I already got all of his potency and brilliance for his ice breath. I already did that like right off the get-go. I already maxed his HP. I don't know what else. I'm not grabbing the agility. He already has enough. I'm not grabbing charm resist because there is no charm units until Jessica. So it's like there's nonsense stuff there like wisdom and attack that you would never grab obviously. But like, what about the useful stuff like resistances? Will you grab that, or are you still going to pass on it? Just so you could use the talent point daily for another unit. What do you guys
I
think?
mean, I use the talent point daily for units that either don't need or can't farm. So I've got all low rank and battle road units there. Uh, Whereas I do the like Great Dragon, Dragon Lord True Form, uh, even the Striking Saber Cat, who's eventually going to get bloomed against all previous expectations. I put those on my farming team. We had, what was it? Almost 600 stamina a day, or over 600, something. Uh, Something crazy this past week with the rank up campaign. So like Dragon Lord True Form is at like 8,000 points right now. I'm about to have to take him off my farming team so he doesn't cap out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I only use the daily for units that I can't put on a farming team because I rarely use skip tickets. They just, I don't need them. I'm farming with, because I'm just trying to level right now, so I'm farming with high level units anyway.
Those talent points are tricky because you could max your level on a battle road and still have 0 talent points. And now
Yep, that's why.
so weird because before that's that's the only way you're gonna max your units in this game, all across the board. Even like people that are whales utilize the battle road because okay, they could train these units on the battle road and then they'll train the other units the regular way. And it's like, well, most of our training that we did with all of our most powerful units is already done, first of all. And a lot of the other training is battle road. So it's like, okay, and that's done as well. So it's like, I almost have no room to give this person talent points. Like, how am I getting them talent points? When am I ever going to put this person on my team? They're already maxed. Like, when am I going to farm talent points for them? And the answer is I'm not. I'm really not. There's never going to be a chance to. And there's going to be more and more units released with this game, and we'll never have a chance to catch up with the talent points, is what I figure is going to happen. I don't know. So it bothers me because I want to max it. You know, I want to max the important stuff, but I know I might not be able to. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I really like. Remember, we started from 0 here. We got the blossoming came with, we started at 0 and we're already close to max on your main unit. So like for Great Dragon, for me, he's close to max on all the usable nodes, and then the other stuff, I think it helps that you're not spending any talent points unlocking stuff. So you can unlock everything just with gold and flowers and branches. And then as you get talent points, like I haven't used any of my talent point scrolls yet. And I still feel like I'm in a pretty good spot here moving into week 3 with talent points.
Hmm. Oh, I do have an
So,
announcement. I noticed something this week. This is very important news for Trop. The Master Quest is the inorganic family.
that is true.
It's
So
terrific news. It
so
at
you
least lets
so
me
you
know.
might get like 1 or 2 fragments for inorganic.
Yes, speeds me up by a whole 2 days. So that's always nice.
Yep. Yeah.
I do want to go back. You mentioned the lateral and linear range, and that's something I think is going to be hugely important in the upcoming Arena Week.
Yeah, we got the
Uh,
map here. It's
yeah,
basically the same map that we had this week in a sense. You have 2 pillars there, but the placement that you have is a bit different, right? You there's only 2 rows to choose from rather than 3. And
there's only 2 rows. There's no forward placed wing spots. And so for that reason, I would be very, very hesitant to bring Nira and White King and Dragon Lord.
But if you think about it, Nira has a very slow agility, so other units will move up and she'll just hit them. That's fine. It's faster units that you have a problem with. Like you mentioned White King, he is faster. So for him, it would be a problem. For Nira, it's not really much of an issue, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Like Nira is very, very slow. So
and like I said, her weakness types are perfect. I think if you're ever gonna bring a caster ever again, now's the time. Other than when I don't know, Dolmagus comes out.
Yeah.
But from now until then, if you're ever going to use a caster, now is the time to use Nira. A caster that isn't S-Dark, basically. Now is the time. So,
yeah, Nira should still be good by letting people come to her.
Dragon Lord would be good.
Can't really do that. Dragon Lord's also very slow.
He's slow, and he as long as you didn't build agility, which is like if you're looking at his talent tree. For his bloom, don't touch the agility. Don't, unless if it's like on the way to getting something, but don't rank it up past that. Just leave it as what it is. He's actually better with no agility. Plus he could heal, whatever. So I would even venture to say, his frizz is strong because whoosh units are typically weak to frizz, but he could hit people in a 5-line tile. And look, they're basically lined up in a 5-line tile. Look at this map.
Yep.
So he's usable. He's definitely usable. S-Dark is usable, but obviously it's going to be a breath and then it's going to be his hit. But, you just have to account for that. I feel like S-Dark is a lot more powerful and usable now with that Orgo de Mir axe compared to his weapon, because he's just low enough that when he gets hit, he'll heal immediately. You know what I mean? He doesn't have too much HP. So he'll get hit enough that with one hit, he'll heal if it's a strong enough hit. And he does a lot of damage, a lot more damage with that axe.
I don't think the weapon stats are taken into account for the heal.
No, it doesn't increase the heal. That's the interesting part.
No.
But you still have to be below.
Percentage.
No. You still have to be.
You do not.
No,
you don't.
No.
You don't. You
No.
don't. I'm telling you, I have hit an 1105 HP S-Dark for 550 damage, and he healed.
I'm pretty sure that's not the case, because
It is the case.
From what I knew is that they will heal for their base, half of their base HP, right? But I didn't. From what I know, it's not, the trigger isn't also that same half of their base HP, just half of their HP.
It's not.
Okay.
I have reliably, because I've been running the Great Dragon House.
Okay, we're reconnected.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, it's half of HP, but I think it's before before equipment is taken into account.
It's not just, it would also have to be awakenings too, because that's not counted as base either. I noticed that.
I mean, it's one of the two. All I know is that when I went up against a 1105 hit point S-Dark, I was like, okay, I can hit him with my breath. He won't heal, and then I can finish him off. But he did heal. Mm-hmm. So it is definitely not taking into account something.
Well, mine is sitting at 1 awakened, so we'll see. I'll test it outside of arena, and I won't put equipment on him, but I'll get him to where he gets 5% more HP for being 1 awakened. So I'll get him to that point basically and see if he'll heal. I should probably take it into account the Master Family rank too, I guess.
Yeah, could be that taken into account as well. But,
though I'm probably sitting at 2 or 3% HP with that. It's not a lot.
Yeah. But
I
Yeah, this
accidentally skipped the gold quest daily today. I didn't realize that you don't get a refund with that. So if you back out of the match, because someone's like, oh, if you save your dailies for after the update, you never know. There might be a mission that requires you to do your daily. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'll just back out of this and save it for later. Backed out of it. I'm like, huh, that's funny. I already got my daily mission reward for doing this, but I didn't do it yet. And I was like, oh, wait, let me check back. Attempts remaining, 0 out of 1.
That is unfortunate, but
But hey, lesson learned.
I-
Don't be packed. Don't make my mistakes. I do it for you guys on air, so you don't have to.
Well, it's not like you need the gold anyway, right? Gold's not that important.
It's
You
the number
got
one
tons of it.
resource in the game. Where's the ×3 gold? It's a mat. Gold should be classified as a mat at this point, because
I don't know, because if you scroll over it in game, it calls itself the world's most common currency. Obviously, we all have so much of it, we just don't know what to do with it.
but it's so common.
Exactly.
It's used for everything. You can't get by without it. That's the problem. So we do need a gold up rank mat quest. It's the ultimate mat, gold, and it needs to
Gold.
be times a bajillion.
Yeah.
Times
it
more
is
than
good.
it's been for sure.
Yeah.
It's
happened before where it wasn't just XP, that it was literally 3 times the rewards, or not 2 times, sorry, not 3 times the rewards. But lately it hasn't done that, because it's done it for like what was it, some events, right? Because sometimes events will also do that, XP up or rewards up for the event. So sometimes there's a campaign on the current event. And it's like, well, they could totally just do that for everything. Just gold up everything, please.
Gold up everything. Yeah, I think the only time we've had gold up on regular mission rewards was the one tower with Khan and Slan, that event that specifically said gold up or this tower.
Mm-hmm.
But which was really nice. I farmed that tower as much as I could. And that was I liked that a lot better. It felt like it gave me a bit more control over my resources and gold than the typical like gold quest increased by 50%, because that's 1 little chunk per day instead of 90% of my farming throughout the day was getting extra gold instead of just one mission.
So are you guys finally ahead on your mats?
I wouldn't say I'm ahead. I'd say I'm back to a comfortable spot. I'm sitting around 50 on most of the families that I'm not going to use.
For the pearls, right?
Yeah, for the pearls. And like 185 for dragons. And almost all of those are accounted for. And like 100 for beast. And then like 70 for hero.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was close to 100 for hero before I took rough to rank 7.
I figure since we're gonna get Hassan, and then down the line we'll eventually get the fat bastard, whatever his name is.
Yangus.
Yangus. He's apparently not fat. It's just a bodysuit. He's really fast, actually. When he takes off the bodysuit, we realize he has a god tier agility. So, but yeah, I actually farmed a lot of hero just for that, because I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this now and never again. So I touched hero. I have enough for to max both of those guys, and who knows, we might get other pearls down the line just from a shop or something. I know there's no other heroes in between that I'm probably gonna go for, unless if I get them by accident, and it's like, okay, maybe I might want an awakening in this guy. But I know with units like Nocturnus, I'm going to want, so I obviously got a lot of the question mark ones, because those are very, very valuable. And And I have probably the next most is inorganic, because we saw the luck that I got with inorganic, so I'm just gonna stick with it, and then maybe beast, because you see, like, the beast units are crazy for arena. So if I get lucky with those, we'll see.
Yep. Yeah. Uh, I did something similar. I did try to take into account, like, I've still got the 20 pearls from hero and bosses in the shop. So, uh,
I
I'll
didn't
probably.
call Yangus. I didn't slander him. He's a slim guy just wearing a bodysuit. He's really fast. He's like the fastest unit in the game, basically. Basically. So he's really talented. Cool dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, that's I tried to farm up as much as possible while taking into account the future shop purchases, being able to help refill my reserves. And then I did farm a little bit of the little F rank to C rank rocks. But I remembered basically today. I didn't farm very many of them, so it wasn't a whole lot of stamina. But with the new rank up quests being weekly, I'll probably just be doing the little three stam quests 10 times to get the iris. As long as
Really?
as long as I'm running well on the other materials, and if I need to conserve stam for other stuff, which there's a bunch, even if we're not in the middle of a campaign, which we almost always are.
It's a high
I mean,
investment for an iris, and I know irises are the hardest to come by. It seems like the bottleneck, just apparently, but it's still a lot to invest for an iris. Just like
I mean,
3,000 gems. It's
30 stam though is like you're never outside of even during this 3 times campaign, like it was probably about average luck if you got an iris for every 30 stam. I think they were saying they're getting between 6 and then occasionally 9 and then very rarely 12 off of 200 stam. So 6 iris on 200 stam is over 30 stam per iris. That's on a triple rank up campaign.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Starscream. Beards are required for the podcast. That's why we didn't invite you. That's why you're not here.
Yeah.
And why do beards prevent people from being canceled? Is this a meme? Am I too old for this? Like, what? Is this a thing? Does anyone know about this?
I'm also too
Apparently,
old.
people with beards are immune to getting canceled. This is news to me, because I thought, a toxic masculinity. I didn't realize that you could be saved by having your masculine features. I thought that's not in vogue right now. I was confused.
Maybe it's like one of those overflow things where you get enough masculinity and eventually it circles back around.
It circles back around. It's like a horseshoe. Yeah. The horseshoe theory. I don't know. I'm poking fun at this. I'm not gonna get political. Yeah.
So, but yeah, like that's really my plan moving forward. I'm not nearly as high as some of the people in the Discord are. I saw people with like, I know Exalted, I think was shooting for 150 iris. But I also haven't bought any of the ones in the shop yet. So I think that's like 10 or 20 from the regular shop.
Man,
and another 25 from Orgo Dimor. So that'll put me at least over 100.
Man, I already got mines from the shop. I'm sitting. It has to be in the 70s. No, I have 80 irises right now. After having gotten all the ones from the shop already, but you've seen my box, so I've probably spent a lot of them already, and you probably don't because you want to conserve gold. But
I can't.
It's
Not that I've been purposefully conserving my iris. I am literally like every single day from that 4,000 gold, I get maybe one rank up because I'm trying to get Dragwar up to rank 7 now, and it's 10,000, 20,000 gold to go from 5 to 7, and that's like over 3 days of uh, maybe even close to 4 days.
What made you want to go for Dragwar?
I'm hoping that he does well this week in arena, and then
I mean, by the time you get him up to like 120, the week's gonna be over, right?
I should be able to get him. He's already at 5, and if I get to day 1, I won't need him for bots. Today I won't need him. Tomorrow, I'll probably be able to get him to 110, and hopefully that's enough. And then also I do have, which this is a good time to transition into our teams for the week. I've got 2 planned teams. And the team I would like to use if I can get Dragwar up to snuff is the Go Hard or Go Home team, which is Rough Leader for the 20% physical whoosh damage boost. And then Dragwar and Mini Dragwar, the Saber Cub. And then probably will be Seraphy and Halberd rounding out. And Halberd, of course, is bringing that heavy whoosh damage in Thunderstorm.
But he has to be in range for it, and single target.
Yeah, which if things go to plan, I hopefully I delete, as long as I can find teams where I can hit. They don't have any heavy whoosh resistance on the team, or any whoosh resistance really. Then I should be able to just straight up
build your own enemy team. It's like Build-A-Bear, but build your own enemy team. It's a common feature, and helps Trop get first every week. Somehow he never faces units that could kill his great dragon.
Yeah.
No.
So, but
Trop is 0 confirmed.
Yeah. Yeah. Alternatively, I've also got Dragon Lord True Form and Kiefer, who, if I'm going up against some of those whoosh units that are weak to frizz, I can sub them in, especially until I get the Dragwire up high enough for use. And that's my goal, is basically just hope that they're not lined up all along the back row, because in that case it's going to be really rough, and that the ones in the front row I can kill, and the ones that are in the back row aren't strong enough to kill off my units in the retaliation. So, but Vash is asking what he should do with his talent points. DK.
You have DKO, 0 Awakened, and no Rough. He has Demon King Orgo.
Oh, okay. Demon
0
King
Awakened and no Rough. What should he scout for? Okay, there it is. He wrote Demon King Orgo Dimin. Sorry, it wasn't Daemir, it's Dimin. So, yeah.
So, I mean, in that sort of situation, it just depends on your priorities. I'm still saving up until this week. I'll have to use.
Sorry.
I'll have to use 2K attack points this week to stay below the cap. And I'll probably just go for rough, honestly. Maybe DKO to get just one pull for any strats that use his leadership ability. But Uh, let's see. No rough. Rough, I think, is primarily arena whoosh. Uh, he's good right now if you can get him for the mega boss fight for arena in general. But other than this week being whoosh week, it's hard to use heroes. He's one of the better ones, but also arena oftentimes boils down to awakenings. Getting a 0 or a 1 awaken rough isn't gonna make the cut most weeks. Even though he does have a good kit, he's you want that extra survival, especially being a physical unit. He gets maximum efficiency from those awakenings.
Their
Heroes have
weight
already
is dropped. Yeah, it's already dropped.
Yep, they're already 60 weight. Unfortunately, that doesn't do a whole lot in my experience. It does help you
They
hit
should be 50
occasional.
weight. You know why, right? Because they can't learn an ability, and they won't be using their ultimate. I mean, their coup d'état, coup de grace. I don't know.
Yeah, coup de grace.
And so it's like they won't be using it. They basically have the same passives as other 50 units would. Like OKM has a Mage Killer passive, basically. So they have the same number of passives. They have the same number of everything, abilities. And they can't learn an ability. So it's like they should just be 50 weight. I don't see. There's nothing really that makes them as good as, I don't know, a question mark unit. Question mark
I
units are
highly
really insane.
disagree.
I don't know. I don't
I
see why. I don't see why
I
heroes
vote to
should
keep
be
him at
60
60.
weight. Like what do six what do question mark units have that other units don't have typically? What do they have? Like the new ones, because obviously with Dragon Lord he's a bit behind the
I
trend
mean,
here.
if we're talking question mark units, they have a lot. They have like higher stats off the bat, really good passives. Even for Orgodamir, it would make him a pain in the ass that he gets 2 stages, defense up and spell res up. And I don't know. I don't like heroes that much either. I think they're on average stronger than maybe not always as good for two turning, but they're way harder to deal with on defense. So I definitely don't want to see more of them if they're 50 weight.
Well, what happens here isn't going to come into effect in the game. So this is recommendations for players, not devs. Um, it's not going to happen. I was just saying they should have been 50 weight technically.
Yeah, but it's like up for discussion. It's like, well, would it be a better time if it was lowered? And my opinion is, overall, it would not. Um, because I think, and think about it. Sure, they don't get to use them most of the time, but even on defense, like even this week, you've had some rough matches that have gone more turns. If you saw more heroes and somehow you were against a Nera that you made it to turn 4 and it just obliterates your whole team. Like heroes, if something goes wrong and you don't two turn them, they become pretty scary.
I don't know. I
Um,
just haven't
I
had too
think.
much of that experience. I mean, look at Ragnar as a scary hero, and he's only an A rank, but he's the same weight as other A ranks are. Same thing with Kiefer. And especially on defense, Ragnar sucks on offense, but on defense he's great. So
Yeah.
he's 35 weight there. It just makes sense to make the S ranks the same as well. I don't know. This is my opinion.
I'm in the camp that they should actually make heroes 70 weight. So
You just
let's
never
start
want to
doing
see them again, huh? That's just
that.
okay.
I just
You just don't want
Yeah,
them to get any
I'm not
use
I'm
at
not a
all.
huge fan of heroes. They're typically pretty tanky. Uh, a lot of the previous ones seem to just naturally resist frizz for whatever reason, and I might have a bias towards that. Um,
Hmm.
but no, if we're talking on honestly, like I'll give an honest position, like on offense, if you're to use them on offense. I think I still would at 60, especially rough. I was gonna say I disagree with the one awakening thing, because even before the Great Dragon was bloomed we were like 5 days in before we got that bloomed, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I was using Zoma one, not Stark one awaken, Sorrow one awaken. Like a lot of these units are still good at one awaken. You just got to play um a little more carefully with them. But I think rough, like from what I've seen, of course, yeah, you have to play. He's like a fun toy. He's gonna hit hard even at
Mhm.
one awaken. But you're gonna have to play, really carefully with him so that he doesn't get piled on by whoever survives, right? Because he's so fast and he can move up so far.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I
I'm
guess
gonna
it's like same,
dangle a
same thing with
question.
Claude.
I'm gonna dangle a question in front of you, Trop. A max awakened OKM or a maxed awakened rough, and here's the tricker, is they both have the same weight now. Which one's more usable in arena?
Oh boy, if,
They're both
I
50
feel like
weight
that's a.
units. Same, everything's the same. They're just max awakened now, and you get them complimentary free.
Oh, are you asking me for a personal choice?
Yeah, which one are you using, man? Which one is stronger? They're both 50 weight, same as everything else has been the same. Max awakened. Uh, uh, aiming. Square Enix just looked at your account and just gifted it to you, and they're just like, Trop, you deserve this, and they gave you a max awakened OKM or a max awakened rough that was 50 weight. Which one do
I,
you take?
I hate and I hate to say this, but I would definitely use the rough. And it
Wow.
just goes to show where the 10 points come in. They're both strong units. But rough has more movement, overall more range, so he'll hit more enemies. He's basically like a better Claude. So he's a Claude, and we've seen from Starscream and sometimes me how strong Claude is. So this guy's like an S rank version, and he has more variety in his attacks. He has a strong single attack, which you can do on turn two. He has the fan, and then for some reason, if they all resist Woosh, he has like a straight line attack that also hits hard. So I think if they weighed the same, I think you'd be using rough more than OKM, depending on the match. So I completely see, especially for strong heroes that are gonna start coming out when they start getting stronger. I definitely see the 10 point justification.
So the only reason why OKM is better than rough is because of those 10 points. That's all that almost holds them back.
Wait, didn't I say in this case that rough was the one I'd use?
Yeah, so if that case wasn't there, then OKM is better. Just the 10-point difference.
Oh,
Again, max awakened, 160 weight, 150 weight. Um, Square Enix knocked on your door and said, "You know what, Trop? We're sorry. You've been having a hard time there, buddy. Here you go."
oh,
Which
so
which
you're
one do
you're
you
asking.
accept? Which one do you accept? Not just, I mean, just to keep. Which one do you accept?
Oh, if they offer me either, so with things being how they are with the 50 and 60
And
weight,
you'd
right?
get to keep it. It's yours forever. Same question, everything, but now the weights are back to normal.
Oh, okay. In this case, I'd probably choose OKM.
Okay. Okay.
So
All
the weights do matter. That is a point. The weights do matter, but at the same time, it's tricky, right? Because if they were at the same weight, then rough becomes a better unit in almost every sense.
hmm,
Um, because heroes are designed with more power level, and I get one of the reasons they're designed that way is heroes do really, really well in PvE content. Uh, like take it from me as someone who's missing almost all of the heroes. Like I have literally almost no heroes. Just from what I've seen and stuff, heroes really shine in PvE. Like they're so good from what I've seen, and generally they have a high power level, but people just hate on most of them because they can't use their ultimate move uh,
hmm.
turn three or turn four. But when the arena changes to three turn 1 2 8s, you're gonna just naturally see a lot more heroes.
Some of them,
And
because some of them
even now, I
still, it's like
think rough is usable.
because some of them, the ultimate is turn three, so turn three has to happen, and then they could use the ultimate. So it's like it still
Yeah.
happens turn four, so it's like something like that. So some of them still won't be able to use their ult, basically, or the enemy team is wiped out by the time that they use their ult. You've already lost a unit. Who knows what happens, right? but
Yeah,
it's tough. I don't know.
it's tough because you take certain examples. Like for example, not all heroes are created equally for arena. Like Deborah, it's really scary to see as an arena unit, and I don't think too many people would argue that she should be worth 60 because like
Especially on
she's
defense,
got
man.
fire
Her
twirl, she's
range
got
is not
increased
that
crit
good.
rate, she's got the hard claw. You don't want to be seeing that many Debs out there.
Not on defense, right? But like on offense, she's kind of doesn't have a lot of range. But if you run up on her, then she's gonna counter and hit you, and she's gonna kill you. But like on offense, that's not that great because the range isn't that good. She's 3 movement, but 3 movement with a Sizz rolling attack is still. It's what your KM had, but weaker. I mean, KM's weaker. Sorry, it's what your KM had, but stronger. Seems like Vosh is gonna go out for dinner. I know that you're gonna be soon too, but let's close up here if we can. If you guys are short on time, I'm not yet. But so the map, we discussed the map. For me, this is gonna be a Frizz week. I just see this as a Frizz week. Celery's going to play by the rules. I don't know how he's going to muster the goal to, but we're going to see that in effect as Celery's going to try to play by the rules this week. I think the only units that I have that semi play by the rules are my Halberd. Also does have Sunderstorm, but it's at +9 instead of +10. I just never maxed it. Never got around to it. I want to use my Saber Cub, and I might even, but his Stormclaw won't be maxed. I haven't even touched it yet. So I'm going to have to break the whole waiting for the 1.5 tomes by the end of the week and just farm some partway through the week, just now, and get him to like +6 and then max it later when it's more efficient. I don't know. So I'm gonna probably have to do that. Drop 100 inorganic fragments as a reward for Bronze Arena trophy. Yeah, that's just specifically inorganic fragments. Yes, absolutely. No other fragments will do. But yeah, so I'm gonna bring that. I'm gonna bring maybe S Stark. S Stark has a good leadership. I don't know. He's not gonna have decent range here, but I'd still like to bring him. I don't know. After seeing what happened this week and the shape of this map, probably gives me the feeling that I might want to bring S Stark. And I'm going to bring a lot of Frizz units. So I'm going to bring my OKM. I'm going to still bring Kiefer. And that's probably going to be it. I might switch up units here and there. I might, switch out my Great Saber Cub. I might switch out my Kiefer. Might bring in, I don't know, Gremlin, maybe. I don't know. But that's pretty much going to be it for me. I do have a Slan who's 120 now. That incidentally has a +9 for his Slice and Dice or whatever it was, Wendy's Slice and Dice. And my Jaguar is sitting at level 100. So 1 Awakened or 2 Awakened, I can't remember. So might max him. I don't know. I could do either. We'll see what happens. But for me, I think it's more of a Frizz week. I think Frizz units are going to have a great time this week. Obviously, Frizz isn't reduced. Sizz isn't reduced either, so I'm just going to go ham with that. What about you guys? What thoughts do you have on this upcoming week?
I was gonna say, if anyone's curious what I'm bringing, I'm just gonna bring the same shit that I brought the past few weeks, except change our Gremlin for Ghost, and just yeah. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like I said, Great Dragon is a little bit of a risk, but he's so powerful, and I'm usually my playstyle. One of the reasons why I think I'm so successful is I'm really good at not getting hit unless I absolutely have to.
But how do you
And
not
so
get hit? Like, you have to move
it's
in
just strategy.
sometimes.
You got to know how the enemy will move up and what you can afford to do. Like I don't. So sometimes I go until the end of turn 2. It's just you got to, I don't know, visualize some stuff in advance, subconsciously. It's not too
Does
hard,
this
but
mean
it
you're
just
starting the streams back up for Arena? so we could all learn.
I could, yeah. Like it's not as convenient to stream from my phone, but I could definitely try to do it. Show a little bit into how I played before. Because I know some people uh like that back when I did it, but back then I didn't even have the bloomed units. Now I'm actually able to play a little more what do you call it? A little more carefully. That's mostly what the new strength has given me, is the ability to be able to play even more carefully than I did before.
The luxury.
Which means that my chances of losing a unit are even less. Like, I'll give you an example. I think I was typing this in the group chat, but I think it'll be good for everyone to hear. Like, I was doing one of the matches one week. I think it was day two, and there was a nightclubber at one of the edges. So I could have killed him turn one if I went up and did Thunderstorm on on him, and I could have just killed him, and nothing technically would have killed me, but just subconsciously in the back of my head, I'm like, that Baramos is right there. If he crits me, 1% chance, I'm gonna lose 8 points this week. So I'm like, okay, I just sizzed. I let him survive. He hits me, whatever. The Baramos instead can't reach him, so he uses his Necro Boom on Dragonlord True Form, crits him, but he survives because he's not weak to bang.
Mm.
And just like that, I was kind of rewarded for playing around that because the halberd would have died. So I slowed down my match a little bit, but I played around the crit, and
And you still
uh,
got a passing grade.
yeah. So that's probably one of the reasons is I'm willing to bet that a lot of people don't purposely slow themselves down to play around critical hits. Um, yeah.
The digital communism strategy. Is it strategy? Is that what we're going with? Trademarked. We're trademarking it. You just
Yeah.
got to get a passing grade.
So I'll try to get the streams up again to kind of see how I play. It'll be more entertaining now maybe because before I was using average units, and now you just get to watch me blow everything up. Uh, so that's gonna be that's gonna be something else.
I think you could
Um,
also set your Twitch up to automatically upload to YouTube when it's done streaming, right? Each video. So that's a
to
possibility. So
automatically do
people,
that,
yep,
we'll have to talk a bit after
there's
the
settings.
podcast because I'm not too sure how to do that.
Uh,
Because yeah, I could stream on Twitch, and then if it automatically uploads it to YouTube,
yeah,
that's less
I,
work that I
on
have
a
to do.
desktop, I believe you could just hop onto the streaming settings and just set it that way, and then you never have to worry about it again. It automatically uploads your videos to like YouTube or something when they're done. Your
No,
streams.
yeah, I'll Google it, but don't I have to title it, or will they just keep the same title? I guess I could put the title
I
for
guess
the.
it would keep the same title as long as you link your YouTube to it. It'll send it straight to the YouTube and upload
Okay,
something like
so
that.
that's something to try and figure out because I don't know if there's a demand to see Metal Dragon and Gremlin, and there probably is, right? Like some people probably want to see
Because some
how I
people have
play.
those units, and it's like what for you might have a choice, but for them they might not have a choice. Or maybe if they did have a choice, it's like it's not a good choice because those are their best units. And it's like, yeah, I could play by the rules this week and go with Woosh, or I could use my best units. And you'd give them a shot at that basically. If they watched your content and saw you do it, maybe they'd figure out how to do it for themselves.
Exactly, yeah, and I think maybe there is room for that because there's already enough videos on my channel of me just playing with average units.
Hmm.
So now, like, if I do this, and I'm in that same situation that they might be, and I just happen to get lucky to get these units really strong, but apart from this, like, I'm missing a lot of units, so I really don't have that flexibility. And if other people are in that same boat as me, where they have like a strong, 5 to 8 units or whatever, and then not strong anything else, uh, I could show them the strategy of just learning the team, using the same or similar teams every week, getting accustomed to what they can do, and yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're signing off here. I'm Pack. This is Trop and Celery, and this is the Arena Watch podcast. Go ahead and subscribe down below if you want to join the pack with the pack, and drop a like on this video if you like this video. Go ahead and comment down below if you have something to say. Share this if you want other people to enjoy Arena as much as we do and you want Arena content to get shared around, there to be more of it. Go ahead and hit the bell icon if you want notifications for when we do streams like this or when I drop a video. And join Kage's gaming Discord server for all the best underground DQT conversations. Go ahead and join my server for all the best DQT guides. We'll have that updated with some of the Orgo Demir human form stuff pretty soon. Anyways, guys, this has been Pack signing out. Peace.
All right. Peace, guys.